AITA for telling my sister I don't want her at my wedding after what she did at our family dinner. So, I, 28F, am getting married next spring. For context, my sister, 32F, and I have always had a rocky relationship. She's the type of person who thrives on being the center of attention, and honestly, I usually just let it slide because it's easier than fighting. But last week, during a family dinner, she completely humiliated me. We were all sitting at my parents' house. My fiancé, 29M, my parents, my grandparents, some cousins. Normal family dinner vibe. Out of nowhere, my sister decides to make a toast. Which was weird because it wasn't anyone's birthday or anniversary, but she stands up, clinks her glass, and says, "I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight, and I'm so glad we'll all get together again at my wedding before OP's." Everyone just froze. I had no idea what she was talking about. Turns out she got engaged 2 weeks ago and didn't tell me, but decided to announce it in this super dramatic way at dinner. Okay, whatever, right? I tried to be supportive, but then she added, "And don't worry, OP, I promise I'll keep mine low-key so people still have energy for yours." Everyone laughed awkwardly. I just sat there, humiliated. My fiancé squeezed my hand under the table, but I honestly wanted to cry. Later that night, when I confronted her privately, she said, "Oh, come on, it was a joke. Stop being so sensitive. People will always care more about the first wedding anyway. It's not my fault you're second." I told her that if she couldn't respect me and my fiancé, then I didn't want her at my wedding at all. She freaked out, started crying, and now my parents are furious at me. They're saying I'm punishing her for being happy, and that family is family no matter what. Meanwhile, my fiancé is fully on my side and says my sister has a history of undercutting me, but now half the family thinks I'm the villain. So, Reddit, AITA for telling my sister she's uninvited from my wedding after she made my engagement all about her. Update 1. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner. Wow, I didn't expect my original post to blow up the way it did. Someone sent me a screenshot of it on Facebook, and even my coworker brought it up. Awkward. But honestly, reading the comments was eye-opening. A lot of you pointed out patterns in my sister's behavior that I've brushed off for years, and it really made me rethink some stuff. So here's what happened after my post. My sister found the Reddit thread. Yep, she texted me a literal novel at 2 a.m. with screenshots of comments calling her a narcissist. She accused me of turning the internet against her and said I always play the victim. I didn't even reply. I just put my phone on Do Not Disturb and went back to sleep. The next day, my mom called me sobbing. Apparently, my sister told her I'm cyberbullying her and that strangers on TikTok are making fun of her. Guess the post spread there too. My mom begged me to take the post down. I told her no. I wasn't naming names. And if my sister is embarrassed, maybe she should reflect on her behavior instead of blaming me. That didn't go over well. Then came the big twist. My sister announced that her wedding date is 3 weeks before mine. She booked the same venue my fiancé and I toured back in March but couldn't afford. She somehow got my parents to contribute to hers, even though they told me they couldn't give me money for mine. My fiancé is furious. He says this is straight up sabotage, and he doesn't want to see my sister at our wedding even if I did re-invite her. My grandparents are on my side, but my parents keep saying, we can't take sides. Meanwhile, half my cousins are gossiping in the family group chat and sending me screenshots like it's a reality TV show. So right now, my sister is officially uninvited. My parents are threatening not to come to my wedding if she isn't allowed. My fiancé and I are standing firm, but I can already tell this is going to get uglier before it gets better. I'll keep you all updated. Update 2. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner. So, things have somehow gotten even messier. After my last update, my parents doubled down. They told me flat out, if your sister isn't invited, then we won't be there either. My dad even said, we only raised 2 daughters. We can't choose between you. Which sounds sweet on paper, but in practice, it feels like they're absolutely choosing her. My fiancé told me point blank that he doesn't care if it's just the 2 of us and a priest. We're not caving. He thinks my parents are enabling my sister, and honestly, he's right. Then came the latest stunt. My sister made a Facebook post with her engagement photos. Actually, very pretty, I'll give her that. But the caption was, can't wait to marry my best friend in front of our closest family and friends, the ones who actually support us. Guess who wasn't tagged? Yep, me. She literally tagged every cousin, aunt, uncle, even our grandparents. But not me. People in the comments started asking, "Where's OP?" And she replied, "She's too busy trying to tear me down online." So now I've got relatives texting me things like, "Why are you fighting with your sister on the internet? You're ruining the family." I wasn't even going to respond. But then, my fiancé's mom saw the post and called me to make sure we were okay. She said, "You're welcome to have your wedding at our backyard if this all falls apart." That honestly made me cry because the contrast between how she treats me and how my own parents treat me is a lot. And then, because of course this couldn't just end there, my sister actually sent out her save the dates. Guess what design she chose? The exact same template I had shown her months ago when we were Pinterest planning mine. Like, identical. Down to the fonts and color scheme. It feels so deliberate at this point. Like she's trying to one-up me at every single turn. Right now my fiancé and I are considering eloping quietly and just having a small reception later with people we actually trust. Part of me hates that she might win by making me change my plans, but another part of me doesn't want to keep banging my head against this brick wall. The wildest part? Some of you in the comments last time guessed she'd set her date before mine or copy my stuff. And you were right. I feel like I'm living in a Reddit thread instead of real life. I don't know what to do. If I dig in, my parents probably won't come. If I compromise, I'll resent it forever. Update 3. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner? Welp, it happened. The family nuclear bomb went off. My mom insisted on hosting a family meeting this past weekend because she said she was tired of us acting like children. The meeting was supposed to be at my parents' house with just immediate family, but of course, word got out in the cousin group chat, and half the extended family showed up too. It was basically a mini reunion, except instead of barbecue and board games, it was screaming and crying. Here's how it went down. The second I walked in with my fiancé, my sister was already there, sitting in the living room like a queen on her throne. She immediately started with, "Oh, look who decided to show up, the internet celebrity." She was referring to the Reddit post. Apparently, she still thinks I orchestrated a smear campaign. I ignored her, sat down, and waited for my parents to mediate. Except they didn't mediate at all. My dad launched straight into a speech about how I needed to apologize to my sister for embarrassing her online and causing division in the family. I laughed. Like, actually laughed out loud, which probably didn't help. Then my fiancé spoke up. He said, "With all due respect, OP's sister has been sabotaging her every step of the way. You're asking the wrong person to apologize." That's when my sister lost it. She started yelling about how I had always been jealous of her, how I copied her Pinterest boards, and how I was trying to ruin her wedding. She even pulled out printed screenshots of my original Reddit post and started reading comments aloud like she was a prosecutor in a courtroom. Then came the kicker. One of my cousins, bless her soul, stood up and said, "Are you seriously going to act like OP is the problem when you literally stole her venue and copied her save the date design? We all saw the receipts." She then pulled up the group chat and showed everyone side-by-side screenshots, me sending inspiration pics months ago, then my sister using the exact same ones for her wedding. The room went dead silent. My sister started crying, the dramatic soap opera kind of crying, and screamed that we were all bullying her. She grabbed her fiancé, poor guy looked like he wanted to crawl into the floor, and stormed out. My mom ran after her. My dad just sat there shaking his head like we'd ruined everything. Meanwhile, my grandparents came over to me, hugged me, and said, "Don't you dare let her ruin your wedding. We'll be there no matter what." That honestly meant the world. So yeah, family meeting, box disaster. But for the first time, I feel like the tide turned a little. More relatives are openly saying my sister is out of line, and I'm not the crazy one. My fiancé and I are still debating eloping just to avoid the circus, but we're also feeling a little more supported now. At least some people are starting to see the truth. Update 4. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner. It's been a few weeks since the family meeting disaster, and holy hell, the drama has not slowed down. First, the immediate aftermath. My sister went full no contact with me, which, honestly, best few weeks of my life. No cryptic texts, no Facebook subtweets, nothing. I actually started to feel hopeful that maybe she'd just stay in her lane. But of course, that didn't last. 2 weeks ago, my parents called me and dropped a bomb. My sister moved her wedding date again. It's now scheduled the exact same weekend as mine. Not the same day, but the night before. Friday evening, mine Saturday afternoon. She framed it as a compromise so family could attend both. Except let's be real, anyone who goes to hers is going to be tired, hungover, or traveling the next morning. My fiancé immediately said, "She's trying to sabotage you, period." And I agree. Then came another twist. Apparently, her fiancé's family is furious. They don't like the idea of 2 weddings back to back, especially because they're footing part of the bill. My sister's mill-to-be even reached out to me on Facebook Messenger, random, I know, and apologized on behalf of her son's family. She said, "This isn't how we raised him, and we're embarrassed by her behavior." Which made me laugh, but also, yikes. Meanwhile, the internet thing has gotten even weirder. Someone on TikTok did a dramatic reading of my original post, and it blew up. People keep tagging me like, "OP, is that you?" And my sister actually commented under one of the videos claiming it was her psychotic sister lying for clout. So yeah, she's outing herself to the internet now. As for my wedding, we've made a decision. We're still going through with it as planned. Same venue, same date. My fiancé and I decided we're not giving her the satisfaction of pushing us around. But we are tightening the guest list. If you've caused us stress or picked her side, you're not coming. Period. That includes my parents, unless they change their tune. Speaking of, my parents are still acting like Switzerland. My dad even said, "This will all blow over once the weddings are done." I didn't respond because, no, it won't. This is a line in the sand moment. The silver lining? More and more of my family are openly telling me they're coming to mine no matter what. A couple cousins even said they'll skip her wedding entirely because they don't have the energy for her theatrics. So yeah, things are tense, but for once, I don't feel like I'm losing. My fiancé and I are putting our energy into making our day about US, not about her, but if I know my sister, she's not done yet. Update 5. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner? Okay, buckle up because the weddings are officially happening and should hit the fan exactly the way a lot of you predicted. So my sister's wedding was the Friday before mine. I didn't go, obviously, but thanks to cousins with loose lips and Instagram stories, I basically got a play-by-play anyway. And apparently, it was chaos. Here's what I was told. Half her bridesmaids dropped out the week of because of fights. One literally posted, "Sometimes it's better to walk away than be treated like dirt," on her Insta story the night before. The ceremony started an hour late because my sister was getting her makeup redone. My parents were there, front and center, acting like it was the royal wedding. At the reception, she made a speech that included the line, "This is the real wedding of the family. Everything else is just rehearsal." Yeah, she said that. Into a microphone. Apparently the crowd was split between gasping and awkward laughter. Her new Emile looked furious. Then, the biggest drama, her new husband disappeared for almost 40 minutes during the reception. People eventually found him outside smoking with some groomsmen, looking stressed out of his mind. According to a cousin, he literally said, "I don't know if I can do this long term." So yeah, that was her big night. Now cut to the next day, my wedding. Guys, it was beautiful. Perfect. The sun was shining, my fiancé looked incredible, and for the first time in months, I actually felt peace. My grandparents were there, my supportive cousins, my fiancé's amazing family. We danced, we laughed, we ate way too much cake. And here's the kicker. Almost everyone who went to my sister's wedding skipped mine. Except, get this, my parents. Yep. My parents showed up. I didn't think they would, but they came. My mom cried during the ceremony. My dad actually hugged my husband. They were normal, like nothing had happened. And I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, I was grateful they were there. On the other hand, I can't shake the fact that they've been defending my sister's sabotage for months. And I noticed they left early before the dancing really started. My fiancé thinks they were just doing damage control, so they couldn't be accused of picking sides. But the weirdest part? My sister didn't acknowledge my wedding at all. No texts, no posts, nothing. Radio silence, which is honestly scarier than if she'd thrown a fit. So yeah, one wedding down, one wedding that miraculously survived. But I have this gut feeling my sister isn't done, because if you know her, you know she can't stand not being the center of attention. Update 6. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner. It's been about 3 weeks since the weddings, and yeah, I thought maybe things would calm down, but instead it's been like watching a slow-motion car crash. First off, my sister's marriage is already showing cracks. Remember how I said her new husband disappeared during the reception? Well, apparently that wasn't a one-time thing. Multiple people have told me he's been going out with the boys constantly since the wedding, and my sister has been blowing up group chats with cryptic loyalty is dead posts. One cousin swears she saw him on Tinder, but I'm staying out of it because I do not need that drama dragged into my life. Second, the family split is official now. My grandparents hosted a little post-wedding brunch for me and my fiancé as a kind of belated celebration, and almost everyone showed up, except my parents and my sister. My grandma actually told me, "We're done walking on eggshells around her. You deserve better." Which made me tear up because it's the first time I felt like someone in the family actually took my side without hedging. Meanwhile, my parents are still trying to play neutral. My mom texted me, "We love you both equally. Can't we just move on?" I haven't replied because, no. This wasn't just sibling bickering. This was months of intentional sabotage. My dad's been radio silent, which honestly feels worse than if he'd yelled. But here's the wildest part. My sister did acknowledge my wedding, just not to me. One of her bridesmaids, well, ex-bridesmaids, one of the ones who quit last minute, sent me screenshots of my sister's private Instagram story. Apparently she posted the day after my wedding. Thanks for everyone who came to the real wedding this weekend. Sorry you wasted your energy on the knockoff the next day, LOL. She literally called my wedding the knockoff. I laughed when I first saw it, then I cried, then I laughed again. It's so pathetic at this point, it's almost funny. But here's what keeps me up at night. She's unraveling. Like actually unraveling. And if her marriage really is on the rocks already, I know she's going to find a way to blame me. Because in her world, everything comes back to me. My husband, still feels weird to say that, thinks we should go low to no contact and just enjoy our lives. And honestly, I'm leaning that way. But a small part of me feels like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Because with my sister, it always does. Update 7. AITA for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she hijacked a family dinner. Welp, I knew it was coming, but not this fast. My sister's marriage has officially imploded. I found out because she showed up at my door, unannounced, at 10:30 p.m. In pajamas, mascara smeared down her face, dragging a suitcase behind her like something out of a bad rom-com. My husband and I were literally watching Netflix in our pajamas when the doorbell rang, and boom, there she was. Her husband kicked her out. Apparently, he found out she'd been going through his phone, confronting random women on Instagram and starting fights in public. He told her he couldn't do this for the rest of his life and asked her to leave. She came straight to me. I wish I could say I had some saintly reaction, but my first words were literally, "Are you kidding me?" She started crying harder, saying, "You're my sister. You're supposed to help me." Then she asked if she could stay with us for a little while until she figured things out. And here's where I might be TA. I said no, flat out. I told her I wasn't going to set myself on fire to keep her warm. My husband backed me up immediately. He said, "You've disrespected my wife for months. You're not welcome here." She lost it. She accused me of being vindictive, of loving strangers on the internet more than my own family. And then, I swear to God, she said, "You ruined my marriage because you turned everyone against me." I just stood there dumbfounded. Like, girl, I wasn't at your wedding. I wasn't in your house. I didn't touch your husband's phone. How is this my fault? She eventually stormed off after calling me heartless. About 20 minutes later, my mom called, furious. Apparently, my sister drove to their house crying and told them I slammed the door in her face. My mom screamed at me that I was abandoning family in her darkest moment. I told her point blank, "You enabled her. Now you deal with it." Then I hung up. Since then, it's been non-stop drama. My parents are begging me to reconsider just for a few nights. My sister has been posting cryptic quotes on Facebook like, "You learn who your real family is when everything falls apart." And my cousins? Oh, they're eating it up. Screenshots everywhere. Here's the thing. Part of me feels guilty. She is my sister. She is going through a divorce after, 3 weeks? That's brutal. But the bigger part of me feels relieved. Relieved I finally stood up to her. Relieved I didn't let her move in and wreck my marriage the way she wrecked hers. So yeah, my sister's marriage lasted 24 days. My parents are furious with me, and for the first time in my life, I honestly don't care.